A little while ago, last year actually, Dan Delmar in for Elias, by the way, we heard the good news that both the federal and provincial governments were going to fund Resilience Montreal downtown. This is the shelter that's had a temporary home at the old McDonald's at the corner of Atwater and St. Catherine, and it's still temporary, and they have to find a new home, and so they were given some money, just over $7 million, by the federal and provincial governments to buy that real estate downtown and to renovate the building. Except that we all know what happens with real estate downtown. The prices have gone up and the construction costs have gone up. And so they need more funds, and they're looking to raise the extra capital privately to get that Resilience Montreal Centre built. I spoke with Nakuset yesterday, and she told me why the extra funding is necessary and where it will go. Nakuset, hello.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
I know you're right back at work already. I doubt you took much of a break this holiday season.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for all your hard work as usual. And you're one of the people who are on the front lines of this issue. And about a year ago, we received some good news, which is that the Resilience Centre would be funded in downtown Montreal to the tune of several millions of dollars. But this is an expensive project, right? I mean, buying a building, renovating it from scratch right in the middle of downtown where we have to serve that vulnerable population, and you guys need to raise more money right now, right?
Absolutely. What we need to do is raise an additional $6 million. And the backstory is that we have been working with an organization called Bâtir son quartier that was able to send in a proposal to Infrastructure Canada and did an enormous amount of research when trying to figure out all the costs. And we were lucky to get the funds. And then when they did a call to tenders, we were $6 million short. So we were in shock.
So what's responsible for the cost overrun?
It's materials. I think that, during COVID, everything went up. And even though the people involved had gotten some quotes, by the time we actually did the calls to tenders, it skyrocketed. So it was a real shock, and it was really disappointing. And now we're scrambling to try to find the additional monies. The thing is that we want to open now. We have the building. We're ready to go. We have the plans. Everything is ready to go. But if we don't have the $6 million, then we're stuck. And we're also at risk of being evicted from our current location because we were only supposed to be at 4000 St. Catherine for about a year. Mm-hmm. So I know that the new owners are kind of so when you guys all moving out? And we're in the process of doing negotiations with them to extend our stay at 4,000. But what we really need is that $6 million. And we're working really hard in terms of, punching out all different kinds of funding applications, writing to SAA. We're also going to be sending something to an organization called Nietzsche. I'm actually going to be working on this tomorrow to finalize the application, and even private foundations. So the thing is that, since we heard this news, David Chapman and I have been meeting with the provincial, federal, and municipal government throughout the summer on a weekly basis, looking at them and saying, where can we go to find additional funds? And they're all well, I'm not exactly sure. I think we've used all our monies. We're not, we didn't get a definitive answer, which is why we're just, creating new proposals and hoping that someone is going to see it, acknowledge it, and say, here you go.
So when we heard the announcement last year, we all had kind of a bit of a sigh of relief. Okay, finally, this problem is being funded. But was there a plan in place to sort of make sure that there was enough funds coming to you guys from the feds or the province to make sure that we would weather the storm of real estate and renovation costs and all that? Because, to me, this, as far as frontline investments go, this one makes a lot of sense. People are in distress, and if you just let the problem fester, we're going to be paying exponentially more in healthcare costs down the road.
I totally agree with you, and this is why we were really surprised to hear the enormous change when we put in the proposal, and all the calls to bids were like, no, that's not actually what it costs today. But we're really doing our best to try to bring awareness about resilience, about the work that we do, and actually just asking people to help us in forwarding additional funders that I may not be aware of. During Christmas Day, we were at Resilience Montreal, opened and letting the community know that we're doing what we can to support this population. Like when everything else shuts down, Resilience is still open. That's always been our way. During COVID, I know David Chapman worked really hard to help the people that were under the bridge, and was able to go to court and to have a case to try to have an extension for them. Like, honestly, it's an organization that works harder to support the homeless. And what we want to do is just move into this gorgeous building and make it a wellness center for the homeless. But we do need that $6 million. So, if you have an extra $1 million, please send it our way. But if you don't and you know someone, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who will be able to guide me where I can go. I mean, I would love to have like a professional fundraiser, a pro bono, to help me to raise the funds, because it is going to be an ongoing need. Every year I want to have an annual fundraiser, and I need the help. I mean, I can be there, I can help organize, I can bring lots of people, but I don't have all the answers. And, that's like my New Year's resolution. I want to bring in $6 million. So
there's definitely, I'll give a shout out to our audience. There's definitely people in fundraising full time that can for sure, donate a few hours to you guys here and there and help you in that respect. So I hope if anyone's listening, if anyone is good at that, at fundraising and has a long list of clients, just, drop by Resilience and give them a hand. This is a monster task, right? I mean, buying up real estate downtown Montreal, renovating it and all of that. This is a multi-million-dollar affair. It cannot possibly be covered all by private donors. Have you received any signals that the government, any government, local, federal, or provincial, might kick in a bit more?
Well, I did hear from Ian Lafreniere, and we did send in another proposal to him just before, the Christmas vacation. And he actually sent me a text, which was really cool, to say, hey, I hear you need a little bit more money. Let me see what I can do. But nothing definitive, right? I would love to, again, meet with the feds now that, Mark Miller is out and now the new guy, Gary, is in. I haven't met with him yet. So, I would love to meet with, the feds as well. It would be great if the municipal government, I had a little bit of an issue with all the monies that were going to, support the lost cats and dogs and all the monies that went into that. And we're sort of like, great. Well, what about the people that don't have any housing? Any money for that? Perhaps, But, I think that I know that the city has said that they always want to be there for resilience, and that's what we need is to help us. If you can't find the monies, then help us with bringing people that can help us find the monies, right? I'm super determined. I feel like, we've received, we're able to allocate lots of money so far for resilience. There's a little bit more to go. And I think that if we do it, as a community, it can be done. So I'm hopeful.
Nakuset, where can people reach you if they'd like to help out?
Well, you can always reach out to my email, nakuset@gmail.com. You can always reach out to David Chapman at Resilience Montreal. He'll be working at Resilience tomorrow. And just find me on social media. I'm pretty active. I'm on Twitter. I don't think I'm really that hard to find.
No, you're everywhere.
The thing is that, not too long ago, I got that plaque at the Human Rights Walkaway in Côte Saint-Luc. And, in my speech and receiving this plaque, my first thing was, thank you for acknowledging me can anyone help me find $6 million? The work is not done. It's nice to get a plaque, but I also have an enormous amount of work to do, and I need all the help I can get. So if anyone who remembers that speech wants to, reach out, I'm totally dedicated. It's what I need to do this year. We need to move in, and, I would love to start building by this spring.
Well,
it's going to be beautiful.
Best of luck, and I wish you a happy new year. And you're really, truly one of the gems in our social services community here in Montreal. And thanks for everything that you do. You're a real inspiration.
Aw, thank you.
All the best.
All right.
There goes Nakuset, and she gave out her email address. We wanted to make sure that was okay to do that, and she said it was. If you want to make a donation, or if you know someone who could help with their monstrous and very important fundraising tasks, you can reach her at nakuset@gmail.com, which is spelled Nakuset. That's Nakuset. Just Nakuset. Just like Cher. Just Nakuset.